Hello and welcome to my commentary video on the lighting project. So the first thing the player sees is a sort of a yellow bus that's driving past, that's just dropped the player off at the summer camp. So obviously when the player arrives at the camp, it's pitch black, it's sort of middle of the night. There's these street lights shed off the road that's going all the way down there. Then the player can walk over to here, which is the summer camp entrance. So then when the player obviously is walking, will follow the lights. Obviously there's these sort of like log lights, which log lights where the players, you can just sort of guide the player through. Obviously they can see there's trees and other things around. So the player can obviously sprint when they hold shift, left shift, if it works. Why is it? There you go. So the player, when the player holds shift, they can sprint. So obviously when they get to this bit here, they will see they have their little guide, so telling them, oh, you need to pick up the flashlight. So when the player does that, they press F, and that will turn on the flashlight. So obviously there are batteries around the level where the player can pick up. There is med kits, and there is also energy drinks to sort of fill up the player's stamina. And obviously this tells the player what cabin they're in. So there's cabin A and cabin B. So they've got the names here, which is U, where the player's cabin B. Tells it to head to the cabin. So the player will obviously go through here now, a little bit more sort of light to sort of help them through. So they will see the red light up there, which is someone on, and then the campfire. And also they might see the red guy. So the red guy is the enemy that's moving around, that can chase the player down. So when the player gets here, they have another cutscene where it sort of shows someone watching them, and also shows their cabin. So obviously the thing. So you got the lake, the boathouse, cabin A, and the main cabin, which are all buildings that the player will head to. So he's got the fire here, which gives off sort of a light, this orange glow, to sort of light up the scene. So this is the first cabin. So when the player opens the door, they'll obviously see a other cabin mate. They could obviously, the cool thing with it is some certain doors, they can close the door. They can also add a latch, which sort of stops anyone from getting in. So obviously this guy tells us where to go next. So he says, don't kill me. Oh, you're the late arrival. Guys out there killing everyone. The only way to escape is to fix the radio tower. So that gives us our next objective. Also the player can open sort of drawers, and there will be items in them. Obviously, yep, there's like a battery there. So the player can pick it up, and then it fills up their flashlight health there. So obviously, yeah. So obviously the player can't open the door when the latch is on, but when the latch is off, they can do. So firstly, I'm going to show off the sort of enemy first before we head to the radio tower. See, he's flashing red to sort of give this effect that the player can see him. So obviously, when he sees the player, he'll run at him, then obviously hit him. This will take away a life. So when the player has 3 lives, and when he hits the player 3 times, he will die and reset the level. The player can use medkits to patch up their health, and after he's been hit, the player has a chance to run away, and then he will go back to his certain path routines. So here's the radio tower. It's this sort of building here, and it has this red light because of this massive radio tower here that the player sees here, which then the player can go in there. So when the player opens the door, they can go in. There's 2 different paths. The player's going to go this way. More cupboards here, there's more items in there the player can find. So then obviously you get to this bit. So this bit is the radio station kernel. So these gives the players the next sort of objectives. So if the radio station goes down, you need the 3 items to power it back up: a circuit board, power box, and a wire. And then it tells us where these 3 items are most likely going to be. So a circuit board will be in camp B, power box will be in the boathouse, and a wire will be in the main cabin in the storage room. Where all the lights are flashing green, the station is working. So obviously you see, this is John. He's got an axe in him. Then obviously you turn around here, the player will see that the radio host has been killed, with obviously like the flashing light there, from using material to give off this sort of cool effect. He dead. So obviously, yep, so the killer, he walks round the thing where he can actually spot the player in here, but obviously didn't spot me then. So there's also these sort of lights which give off this sort of effect, these sort of power, these emergency lights. So then we're going to head to the boathouse. Oh wait, first there is actually a thing here where it shows where to place these items. So we're going to go to each one and then come back. So first one is the Camp B site. So obviously you see he's here. I don't want to die. So at Camp B, so he will wander around. So at Camp B, so the player can come in, and you see this camp is wrecked, and there also is a dead body. So he's been crushed by this bunk bed. It also does move as well, which is like sort of scary. So obviously this light is obviously pointing at the plane, and it's also flashing. There's also some batteries here, so we're gonna pick them up. Also a med kit, so we're gonna take that as well. So then the circuit board is here. I'm gonna grab that, and then we're gonna head out. So this is the first bit. So now we're gonna head to the dock house. Close that door behind us. He's just chilling. And the dock house is over here. But first we're going to look at the lake. Pretty cool. Player can come all the way over here. And look at this super cool lake. Which is sort of something I added later on in the project. So then when the player is in the... so this is the dock house here, right opposite. So the player needs help find these places. There's obviously these things that sort of help the player find the place. So obviously the player opens the door here. And then we obviously have our power box right here. So obviously there's more crates open. The player can... oh, he's there. The player's there. Another thing the player can do is they can hide in bushes. Which is quite cool. So if you're walking past, they can hide in there. So we're going to head to the other house, which is the main cabin. But first we're going to head to the firewood, where the player can collect some firewood for the campfire. But obviously they see another guy's got an axe to them right here, right to the head, with some lights sort of lighting this area up here, which is quite cool. So then obviously to the main cabin, which is this massive building here. So first we're going to go in. So obviously we're in. We got the chandelier here. We got the TV on. There's another battery there. I won't pick that one up right now. More sort of cabin. Some more chests open up. But then obviously when we turn around, chandelier's fallen onto a guy. Yeah, he dead. Anyway, so when we keep moving through here, there's obviously dining room, kitchen. It's quite cool. These are lit up with these lights here to give this fact that obviously this building still has some power and is still alive, it's still active. So obviously, player will look around, try and find that storage room, but obviously they'll see a light up there, so they're going to go up the stairs. So when the player comes up the stairs, they will see that a light is shining on there. That's hitting the door, which is guiding the player towards it, obviously as well with the blood. Obviously the flashlight's there, it's sort of pointing at the door. So when the player obviously opens it up, they will find the dead body and also the wire that they're looking for. Another one. So also in this building there's more buildings, so there's another little sort of like bedroom here, which obviously the sort of enemy can hunt the player down. Obviously they can also hide in these little wardrobes and wait for the guy to leave, which is cool. And obviously we're going to head back to the we're going to head back to the radio station and power it up. Come down here. Coming through the main cabin, is he there? You're right, mate. We're going to speed past him. Oh no, he's chasing us. Ah! I think he is. So we can come in these buildings out. Oh, it hit me. I've got one life left. Just there. So when the player comes back with each item, they can actually they'll be able to see here. So each item will need a thing. So when we place the soap box, a light will flash up here. Then when we place the power box, another light. And when we place the wire, all three lights. So that's the level complete. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this commentary video on my on the lighting project. Thanks for watching.